weekend. How was the beginning of everybody's week yesterday? Hope everybody had a good beginning. Welcome to the second day of the week. Yes, the second day of the week. Not the first, the second. What's going on out there? Now notice, I changed the picture because I wanted to bring something up. I wanted to highlight something. In case you guys didn't see my short that I put out earlier today, I wanted to highlight something. If you look up at the very top, up there in the blue, it says Jewish, but it should say Hebrew communities have been in West Africa since at least 790 AD. This is a Google search. This is on Google. This is Google AI. That's all you have to do is Google it. All you have to do is Google. Were there Hebrew cities in West Africa? And this is what pops up on the Google AI. That's very telling. Very, very telling right there. At least 790 AD. Now, the Igbo says it's before that. Because the Igbo said it was before the Hebrew got enslaved in Egypt. So it had to be before 790. It had to be back in, before Christ. Right? But isn't that astonishing? How this information is readily at our fingertips. But yet, and still, you have these people out here pushing narratives and agendas. And even more unbelievable, you have people out here actually believing it. When it's right here. It even goes on to say there were trade routes from West Africa to Morocco to North Africa to Egypt. And guess who lived along all those trade routes? Hebrews. Hebrews built communities along all those trade routes because they were the ones doing the trading. They were the ones that controlled the trade routes throughout Africa. So much so that the ones that were in Iberia, Andalusia, whatever you want to call it, they answered at that time to the ones in Africa, in West Africa, to be specific. That's who they answered to. They answered to the Hebrews that were in West Africa. You guys got to read up on the Inquisition. It'll tell you all that. Kind of wild, huh? It'll also tell you, it'll also back this up, that there was Hebrew trading posts in West Africa. This Google AI search right here also tells you, I can't remember his name, Asika, or something like that, of the Songhai Empire. In 1492, he decreed all Jews in the region must convert to Islam or leave the region. Yeah. Didn't Mansa Musa make a decree similar to that too? Or didn't he exile Jews out of his kingdom as well? Yes, he did. See, these are things they like to hide from us. These are things they like to hide from us. It's not just us they hide it from. They hide it from the public in general. Because, This just goes to show those people that are claiming they're us ain't us. Never were. Like I said, there's explanations for these other groups, all these other groups, besides them. And all the explanations for these other groups involve African people, except for them. They're the only ones whose origins get questioned all the time. They're the only ones who don't have an African root. Why is that? That's because they ain't who they say they are. That's why they have to make up words like Semitic, because they can't call themselves Shemitic. You get what I'm saying? Shemitic is the proper term, not Semitic. So they had to drop the H off and make the words Semitic. They made that word. It doesn't even mean a people group. It's a language group. Anybody could be Semitic. It has nothing to do with your bloodline. Shemitic has to do with your bloodline. See what I'm saying? They don't fit in that bloodline, so they can't be Shemitic. Just like Israeli versus Israelite. They cannot call themselves Israelites. They call themselves Israelis because they are citizens of Israel. Okay? Citizens of Israel. Not native to Israel. That's what Israeli means. Israeli means citizen of Israel, not native to Israel. Israelite means native to Israel. You get what I'm saying, y'all? See, it's the little word games and stuff like that. They play the little word games and pretty much just get it all muddled up to where you don't know your tail from a hole in the ground after they done with you. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of linguists subscribe to their same religion, if you get what I'm saying, and they make up the rules. That's why I keep saying we need to push our children or ourselves to start getting into these places of higher education or these roles to where other people can't do this to us. They can't control narratives like this. You know what I'm saying? We allow them to do that because we're not getting educated. And I know in some places it's not our fault. I understand it. I do understand that. But in other places, it is our fault. We just ain't doing it. We want to be too busy running the streets with our pants hanging off our asses because we too cool for school. End up in prison or something. Making nothing out of ourselves. Being 50 years old, sitting on the porch drinking beer all day. Drinking 40s all day, just like they want us to. We got to stop doing that and get out of that mindset. We have to get out of that mindset. We have to get out of we also have to get out of this mindset. The hand-me-out mindset. Yes, that hand-me-out mindset, the SNAP EBT mindset, get out of that shit. Need to get out of it. Need to get up out of it. That's not doing nothing but holding you back. That's an anchor. That is a anchor. Holding you down. Holding you down. Now, me personally, I wouldn't be opposed if they did away with it. I wouldn't be opposed if they did away with it, only for special cases. You know, it's only for special cases, maybe like elderly, maybe handicapped, they can't work. Or in special situations where maybe for some reason, maybe you have an autistic child at home and you seriously can't work because you have this autistic child, you can't put him in daycare. Something along those lines. But other than that, we got to get out of that because we got people out here, that's their whole goal in life, just to get on EBT. What kind of goal is that? The hell? Who makes that their life goal? What happened to wanting to be something? To do something with yourself? We got these other cultures out here who they want to be in life early. And that's what they go for. Now, me, up until I was like 30, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Not at all. I done did it all too. I done did it all. Had no clue as to what I wanted to do by the age of 30, as career-wise. But I knew I had to do something. Way too late to be trying to think of a career. What I'm doing now, I should have been doing. I should have been doing. I knew what I'm doing now. I knew ever since I was a kid. I knew people that did this. I was kind of on a fringe line of doing this because I cleaned people's trucks for them as a kid, as a teenager. But when I got out of high school, I went to the Army. That's one thing I didn't know I wanted to do as a kid because I wanted to be just like my dad. So I did go to the Army, ended up going to Iraq. That's when I seen, hey, the world ain't really what it seemed to be. That was my first glimpse behind the curtain, so to speak. The way that came about, I was actually supposed to be aboard a Black Hawk helicopter my first night in Iraq, my first day in Iraq. Now, mind you, I had almost got blown up once already. My first day in Iraq. I'm supposed to be flying up further north. I'm in Mosul. I'm supposed to be flying up further north to Tel Aviv. I've been up all day. I flew in late on a C-130 from Kuwait. So I've been up almost 24 hours. I'm at the tarmac. There's tents on the tarmac for you to rest and stuff. I tell the sergeant or whoever was standing out there, hey, we gonna be over here, getting some rest or, some shut-eye or whatever. When the flight come in, wake us up. We wake up hours later, it's dark. Man, we thought we was in trouble. We missed that flight. That flight got shot down and collided with another helicopter. No survivors. So yeah, Yahoo was sitting on my shoulder that day, for real. But here's the thing. They told everybody it lost control and collided with another helicopter. No. That's not what happened. It got shot down. And why did they say it lost control instead of getting shot down? Because it got shot down by one of our own weapons. We didn't shoot it down ourselves. It was shot down by the insurgents, but with one of our, yeah, because the Russians invaded Afghanistan. The United States wanted payback on Russia for Vietnam. So what did we do? Actually, the CIA went over there and started arming the Taliban and a troop known Al Qaeda. And they actually gave them shoulder fire Stinger missiles, surface to air missiles to combat the Russian Hind helicopters. How do I know that? Because that was also my job in the military. I was air defense artillery. That was my specific job, actually. I worked with Stinger missiles. So, before even going to Iraq, I was already briefed on them having it. And if I was to come across any of that, I was to take the batteries out of them. If I couldn't carry the whole thing, I was to take the batteries. Because it takes a certain kind of a special made battery. So yes, that was my first glimpse behind the curtain. Like, okay, they just be lying just to lie. What else they lie about? You know what I mean? Turns out they lie about a whole lot. A whole lot. And by that, I mean our government. So I can just imagine what the people above them are lying about. And yes, there are people above our government. Our government works for people who work for other people. Just keeping it honest, y'all. Just keeping it honest. Now let's get back to what we're here for. Our homeland, West Africa. Well, actually, our homeland is Northeast Africa. But we're going to get back to our homeland, West Africa, by way of North Africa. Like I said, as you can see, Hebrews have been in West Africa since at least 790 AD. According to the Igbo, centuries earlier. Centuries earlier. You see, the Songhai Empire, they're Muslims. But they know that they were once Hebrews. They once practiced Judaism. They know that. They all have oral history telling them that, or they still practice Hebrew customs to this very day over in West Africa. That stuff they don't like to tell the general public here. Just like all the stuff that's actually going on in the Middle East with the civilians over there protesting what's going on over there, they don't tell us that over here. They block all that stuff from coming over here. If you get a VPN, you can see all that. You can see how they're protesting, how they're actually protesting the war over there. As to what they tell us here, they're celebrating it. But no, they're actually protesting it because innocent people are getting hurt. I'm telling y'all, that VPN be coming in handy. They block a lot of information from coming to the United States that you can get over there in the UK. A VPN to help you see all that. Virtual private network. Yeah, they keep us in the dark about so much. About so much. That's why in those Epstein files, they was laughing about the Goyim. Oh, the Goyim this and the Goyim that. And the funny thing is, you got Goyim calling other people Goyim. Cause that's the hilarious part. That's the hilarious part. But yeah, no, they're sitting there calling Americans. And that's what the 48ers think of us. They think we dumb. All of us. No matter what color we are. I already know. There's going to be some of y'all, what I want to say? Pigment, I'm going to say black melanin that swear they're your friends. But they're not. They definitely are not. They are not so bad. You don't know that they eternally damned you. I didn't do it. They did. And you don't even know it. Set your whole ancestral lineup. And you don't even know it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they did it to a lot of people. Damn near the whole world. Damn near the whole world. They didn't do it to my people though. They ain't do it to me. Yeah, no. They can't do it to me. Because I'm one of the cultures that they lied on. That they lied to you guys about. You guys see what I'm saying? Just look at the picture. Look at this. Hebrews were in West Africa. Where did foundational black Americans come from? Where were they taken from? Where were we taken from? West Africa. Specifically where these people lived. They weren't just taking random people, y'all. They were targeting these people. Look at the date. From 790 AD to 1600. Just gone. 1600, gone. Where did they go? What happened to them? I know where they went. What happened to them? Today, you got one of them driving down the highway right now, talking to you. Probably some of y'all watching. There's some of y'all got your own channels. It's obvious. And I don't get how some people are so oblivious to this. Just blatant oblivious. Even after you tell them, you show them, they're still in denial. Still oblivious to the fact. And a lot of them look like us. A lot of them look like us. That's got to be brainwashing at its finest. Brainwashing at its finest. You are so colonized in the mind. You cannot believe, you cannot fathom that you came from something better than a slave. That is wild to me. Wild to me. Some of y'all are content with that. Some of y'all are content with your history not going past the 1600s. Some of you are content with your history not going past West Africa, even though the oldest civilization on this planet, and we didn't come from West Africa. There's a lot of our history that you guys are missing out because you want to stop at 1600. You want to stop at West Africa. You want to stop at slavery. You don't want to do the work. You don't want to put in the work to see where you really came from. You don't want to spend the money to see where you really came from, where your ancestors really sweat and bled at. Y'all ain't trying to do that. But at the same time, you're not trying to listen to the people who are doing it for you. What kind of thinking is that? I can understand not wanting to take somebody's word about it. But what I can't understand is listening to somebody and then not going to research it yourself. That's one thing I can't understand. Some people hear it and just shrug it off and go on about their business. Well, I'm going to let you guys know, the ones that do that, you just made your choice right then and there. So, when we get to the end of this tribulation, guess what? You're not going to get another chance. Because you already made your choice when somebody told you the truth of the matter. And you chose to shrug it off. The Most High not going to give you another choice, another chance. You see what I'm saying? If you're new to this whole thing, you've never heard this before, at least take the time to look at it for real. Don't go screaming, oh, peer-reviewed this and peer-reviewed that, because we all know those peer-reviewed papers ain't worth the paper it's written on. Because if you check the name, I'm pretty sure it sounds a little Bergish on most of them. If you check the benefactor, the funder, I'm pretty sure it sounds a little Friedmanish. But if you check some of our genetics, some of our DNA, those can't be tampered with. Those can't be lied on. You will see for yourself. You have been lied to your entire life. You have been getting lied to since slavery started. You have been getting lied to since Yahweh Shai. Because them people y'all think is us, do y'all know what their name used to be before they changed it in the 90s? Everybody was called, like all the groups were called where they were actually from. The Sephardics were called Iberian Jews. Mizrahi were called Yemenite. The ones up north were called Rhineland, because that's where they're from. See, they had to change their name because that was just too revealing and too telling. You can't move to the Middle East when your group is the Rhineland. Your name is telling you where you're from. Now, Their name is telling who they are. Ashkenaz. Even though they would like to try to deny it and say it's the Scythian people, they want to pass it off on the Scythian people, which is fine. That's cool because they're related to the Scythian people genetically. So they're still Ashkenaz. Pretty interesting, right? Pretty freaking interesting. Now, there, among them people, there are usually two main haplogroups, the R's and the J's. The R's, that's a straight European haplogroup. That means you ain't been nowhere else. Your lineage ain't been nowhere else. Europe. That's the one they share with the Scythian people because they're from Europe. They're from the Rhineland. Another quick fact, that's the same one that B.B. Milkowski has too. R. Some of them have J2. Now, J2, as much as they like to say, it originated in the Near East, as they like to call it. It did not. It definitely did not. Of course, you can find it in the Near East today. You can find J1 there today. You can find R there today. That's only because of migration. J2 comes from the Caucasus Mountains. That's where it is originally from. The Caucasus. So, neither one of those haplogroups are Shemitic. They're not Shemitic. And that brings me to another point real quick. A lot of people are saying that they are Esau. They can't be. They cannot be Esau. They're not Edomites. Because if they were Esau or Edomites, they would still be Hebrews. But they're not.
I don't subscribe to anything. Not anymore. Not anymore. I don't subscribe to anything that's not in the Bible. Somebody tells me something, I say, show me in the Bible. If they can't show me, I look for it myself. If it's not in there, I don't listen to it. And no, I'm not interpreting nothing. I'm not guessing nothing. I do not read the King James Version.
Speak Old English. I do not understand Old English. And then they twist the words around to where it makes it hard for you to understand. What do I read? I read the restored rendering version, where it more or less speaks in today's English. And it has Yahuwah's name in it instead of the other name. So if I'm ever in the comment section and I'm posting scriptures or something, that's the reason my scriptures look different from maybe your guys's. Because I'm posting a restored rendering version. And if you notice, it's a little easier to read, a little easier to understand. That takes most of the misinterpretation out of the scriptures. And that's where a lot of this confusion comes from, is people misinterpreting the scriptures. Coming up with their own interpretations when the scriptures are not up for interpretation. They say what they say. That's it, guys. That's it, guys. I'm back at my office. About to get up out of here. Ooh, 222s. That's an angel number, right? I'm back at my office. I'm about to get out of here and go home. I'm hoping everybody had a good Monday. I did, for the most part. It was good having a chat with y'all. Hope everybody got something from this. Hope everybody takes this serious and at least go and check it out for yourself. At the very least, go check it out for yourself. Okay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But for now, it's your boy. It's your boy,